If you want to move a lot of people comfortably and you want to save money at the pump while doing it, it's hard to argue against the all-hybrid Toyota Sienna. They've got this Woodland Edition that raises the vehicle up about 0.6 inches, but yet still promises 36 miles per gallon on the highway. How achievable is that here in the real world? Well, tonight we're going to find out. Hey everybody, it's Charlie from Daily Motor. Today we've got the real-world highway fuel economy test on the 2026 Toyota Sienna Woodland. In this test, I'm going to head out on the highway and do 50 miles out and 50 miles back, averaging 70 miles per hour to get a realistic fuel economy number for this minivan. But before we get started, let's hop out and take a look at it. In this beautiful green paint, the Toyota Sienna Woodland Edition. It's essentially an XLE, so a second from the bottom trim, but it gets some of the goodies from upper level trims, including the JBL audio system and all-wheel drive and a tow hitch standard with up to 3,500 pounds of towing capability. On top of that, you get an extra 0.6 inches of ground clearance. I think you get a slightly different tire here from Bridgestone, but it's not by any means an aggressive tire or anything. So don't think you're going to be able to start off-roading this thing very heavily, but for people who do a lot of camping or maybe hiking trails, dirt roads, anything like that, might be nice to have a little bit of extra ground clearance as well as that all-wheel drive. If you do want to see more on the Toyota Sienna Woodland here, check the link below. We've got a full review as well as a dedicated review of the JBL audio system that I mentioned before. You can find those linked below. Before we get started though, we do have to give a shout out to the video sponsor, LazFit. If you've got a big people hauler like this, you're likely hauling people, and they've got dirty shoes often and dropping things, so you're going to want some floor mats to help keep your car clean and easier to clean. So we have a whole set of LazFit mats. They make good quality, all-weather, hardy, heavy-duty mats for all vehicles. These are the ones you get with the Woodland model, which admittedly they do look kind of cool. They've got some fun textures on them, but they don't cover the floors nearly as well as you would want them to. As you can see here from when I was installing the mats, the LazFit mats into the Sienna last night, you can see how much better these LazFit mats cover than the OEM mats. So they literally tuck in. I had to, in fact, you can see I didn't do this side yet. You have to take them and just force this little lip under the trim pieces. It's really cool. They're 3D measured and laser cut and everything to fit exactly into these bits, and the seats still slide just fine. All the operation still works properly, but the coverage is really, really impressive. So if you're going to be using this vehicle in any sort of area with snow, dirt, sleet, slush, especially in this Woodland model, which is more likely to be used in dirtier environments, I highly recommend picking up a set of LazFit mats. You can check the link below, get 18% off your order, makes them pretty darn affordable. But yeah, look how well they go way up underneath the pedal. They even tuck around the pedal, but they don't push on it. So they really do fit in nicely to a lot of different vehicles. So check the link below. Big shout out to LazFit. Also, interestingly, we've tested the Sienna Hybrid all-wheel drive twice on our highway fuel economy tests, a 21 and a 22 back in Michigan, and they both had odd fills. I wasn't able to get a proper number from the pump. It was very frustrating. So we'll see how this one does, but either way, this is going to be the third time of us testing an all-wheel drive Sienna here, but they do tend to do pretty well and beat their competition, so it'll be interesting to see what they get here today. So why do we do this test? Well, the EPA's highway fuel economy test, which gives this Sienna 36 miles per gallon on the highway, that test only averages 48 miles per hour. We know there are plenty of people who do big miles on the highway at higher speeds and would like to know what sort of numbers you can realistically expect here in the real world. So in order to test that out, I'm going to head over to the pump here at night. I'm going to fill up all the way. We're going to head out, do those 100 miles, come back, fill up at the same pump using the same 3-click fueling method, and get a result. Now, a few things to note for the test. Outside temperature will be mid to lower 70s. Should be pretty nice out there. Tire pressures are going to be set to their door placard 35 psi cold. And we're going to run the climate control at 73 degrees auto. So, without any further ado, let's head to the pump. We are all fueled up, put in just over a gallon of 87 octane here into the tank of the Sienna. We're going to reset the car's trip computer here and the total average fuel economy. I did forget my GPS device at home, so we won't have that going on the time lapse, and we can't reset it now, but we can get our climate set to 73 auto, and we're ready to begin. We do have a few different drive modes here. We have Sport, Normal, and Eco. We're going to do this test in Eco. And we're going to take it nice and easy over to the highway. It's about half a mile away, and pick up the test from there. Now, the goal of this test isn't to hypermile. We're not trying to get the best possible fuel economy for this car, but rather a realistic figure. In order to do that, I'm getting up to highway speed here at a reasonable pace, and I'm going to set the cruise control to a GPS indicated 71.
Right lane blocked ahead.
Ah, well, thank you, Waze. To a GPS indicated 71 miles per hour. That should allow us to average 70 over this whole test. Why? Why are you getting over? You're not doing the speed limit at all. Okay. Anyway, looking over at Waze to get our GPS indicated speed. Looks like 72 on the dash is giving us 71 on the GPS. And I wonder if we will have classic Toyota fashion here where setting 72 on the dash is actually only giving us 71, which will give us 70 on the GPS. Toyotas love to cruise 1 mile per hour below the set speed. So we'll see what ends up happening with this one. In this Woodland model, which is essentially an XLE, right? Yeah, XLE. I almost said XLT. That would be a Ford model. XLE. We should have at least a basic lane tracing assist. And, okay, yeah, look at that. Wow. Very nicely taking us through this bit of lane already without yapping at me to have my hands on the wheels. So, we'll see how this does throughout the test, but that might be quite nice, especially at this price point. So, I am going to continue on with the test. We're going to do some members-only sound testing of this JBL audio system, and I will catch up with you at the end. In the meantime, enjoy this time lapse of the entire trip. Coming into the end of the highway fuel economy test here in the Sienna Woodland. This is what you buy a Toyota for, right? It's predictability. Very smooth, easy highway fuel economy test here. No big surprises, no cruise control randomly changing its speed on me like it did in the Escalade. The fuel economy right where it's supposed to be, 35 MPG, just like the EPA predicted we would get. I mean, there it is. The active lane keeping works fine. It's not great. It gives up sometimes, but it does an okay job. Oh, I don't know when that fell. The only thing that's been bothersome is there's some rattle in the back, right, of the cabin. And I don't think it's the rear seat, because I hit the brakes at one point pretty hard to try to latch it forward, and I also reached back and pushed on the seat. It's definitely latched, so something's rattling back there, unfortunately. The JBL sound system is fine. It's not fantastic, but it's decent. Seat comfort, it's all right. I come to think of it, I don't think these seats are as comfortable as the Honda Odysseys. We did a lot of miles in that Odyssey, and I was comfortable pretty much the whole time, 4-hour stints or so. The Sienna, I'm already getting a little bit rascals. So, but I do really like the elbow rest placement on both sides. But there's no handle to grab onto here to rest my hand while driving. So pros and cons, I guess. No tack shot because we don't have a tachometer. So I think it's about time to get this back to the pump, top it off with fuel, and see if that 35 MPG figure is to be believed. And it is possible that the reading will be up to about, rounding up technically, to 36 by the time we get there, because we're at 35.5 right now, and we still have to get off the highway. Pretty cool. Actually, oh yeah, that's right. It actually is 36 MPG from the EPA, because 35 is the city figure for this all-wheel drive model. 36 is the highway figure. So go figure that that's what we're going to come out to here. All fueled up, we seem to have gotten a more reliable fill than the last two Siennas that we tested, where they were way off from the vehicle's trip computer. We seem to be more in line. We're at 2.664 gallons, which I know should be somewhere around that 36-ish figure. Let's see, 100.3 divided by 2.664. Okay, so again, a little bit of an optimistic fill here. Not as bad as the 50 that we got last time we topped off the Sienna, but we're looking at 37.6. So here's the thing. You all have to realize, we've tested 3 of this gen Sienna now, and every time their fills have been wildly off. So I'm gonna round down. You all can yell at me if you want. You can take this for what you will. I'm gonna round down to 36 MPG. I know the pump calculation's giving us a little bit higher. I think this is a little optimistic. So we're gonna go 36 miles per gallon here for the Sienna all-wheel drive Woodland, which again, to be getting its EPA result at highway speeds, very, very good. Now these are more ideal conditions than the last Sienna we tested that got 33. That one was on winter blend fuel. It was in Michigan, and the temperatures were colder. This is California, literally 72 degrees out, pretty much perfect for testing fuel economy. So a little bit more ideal situation here, but hey, I will take 36. We've got an 18-gallon fuel tank in the Sienna all-wheel drive, so 18 times 36 miles per gallon is giving you a very healthy 640 miles of highway cruising range here in the Sienna Hybrid. So very, very good. Can definitely load this up with people, things, and maybe something on the back with its 3,500 pound towing capacity, and do quite some miles, getting pretty good fuel economy. And it's just so impressive to me that, yeah, I mean, the Odyssey got okay fuel economy. I think if I remember correctly, it's mid to high 20s, and you get a V6 and everything. It's nice, it drives better, but mid 30s, even cruising at highway speeds, love it. Absolutely love it. And even with that little bit of lift, you're still getting good fuel economy here. So thank you all so much for watching. If you do want to see more on the Sienna, check the link below for our full review of this Woodland model. And we also have that dedicated review of the JBL audio system. And we'll see you on the next one. I'm Charlie from Daily Motor, and as always, drive on.